Hey, it's Worth Playboy,
And my Playboys Bunny.
and welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and
Sex.
I feel bad. We're not covering the hardcore sex on any topics recently. That's okay. We'll get back there. Attraction has an expiration date.
It
I
sure
think
does.
this is an extremely foundational and key game concept.
And it has to do with game in pickup. It has to do with game in the beginning of relationships. And it has as much to do with game in long-term, like, actual relationships too, at every stage.
And this is one of those things that guys don't know. You know, it's you have to either somebody has to teach you,
Yeah.
or you will stay confused for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, you'll think girls are hot and cold, or why this or why not. And the classic, you know, move is when you're moving girls from online to offline, you got to move fast.
Yeah.
That's the most important part in the beginning of where it matters.
Right.
You know, you want as few texts back and forth. You don't want them on the phone for weeks. You want within the first text exchange to get their number, get them off the app,
Yeah.
and get their number and very quickly get in front of them.
Yeah.
People want to meet up. The girls that won't meet up are no girls. So you cut them off.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to be a text buddy.
And by app, we could mean social media. We know a lot of you guys are reaching out with girls and connecting with girls on social media now. You know, dating apps, you name it.
Yeah, even if you meet up and you got a number, you need within the same day, you need to reach out to her and get in front of her.
Yeah.
You know, because that's where the magic happens is in person. You want to move fast because attraction, she was attracted to you for a reason. So you need to move fast. The second I've kind of noticed with guys where they go, yeah, I took this girl out and we had sex on the first date. And then I didn't call her for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. And then I reached back out to her and she said she didn't want to just meet up.
Yeah.
What happened?
I wonder what happened.
Well,
Clearly, you did not follow Worth Playboy's getting locked on your cock
Exactly.
rule game of
But-
play.
fundamentally, her attraction expired.
Yeah.
You know, you can keep it going through contact, or, you know, we talk about just enough contact.
Yeah.
But again, those are the two big ones as guys go, yeah, we had sex and then I didn't talk to her for like a week or two. And then I reached out and she said she didn't just want to be a fuck buddy. I was like, okay, man. You know.
Yeah.
So you kind of like got to move fast.
Well, if you treat a girl like she's just a fuck buddy, she's going to feel like a slut.
Exactly.
Even if she is just a fuck buddy, if you point it out to her too much, she feels like just a slut, and she won't stick around for that.
And just like we were saying, like, you know, the most important section of this probably is that from the moment you meet to when you start having sex regularly, you want as little time to elapse during that period. Mm-hmm. Because every interaction you have with a girl on text, DM, call, meet up, before you fuck her is an opportunity for you to say something stupid and for her to become immediately turned off.
Yep.
And it's over.
Yep. It does. You can't you can't unsee it. You can't unthink it. You can't unremember it.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Guys talk too much, text too much, bullshit around too much before they start fucking. And all you have to do, the girls are looking, now, consciously or unconsciously, they're looking for a reason to cancel you
Yeah.
before you fuck. Then after you guys start fucking, she has to mentally justify why she's fucking you. Mm-hmm. So your absence is you're busy and you're an exciting guy, not you're a flake. You know, I mean,
Right.
she starts mentally working things in your favor to your advantage once you guys start having sex. But that open area between when you meet and when you start banging regularly is when you can step on your dick,
Yeah.
never know it, and she's gone.
Uh-huh.
You know, so that's why attraction has an expiration date.
Yeah.
Don't drag your feet.
But utilize it even in relationship too. Keep the sexual tension, and it gets hard. Listen, you see each other, use the restroom, you see each other shower, you see each other pluck your eyebrows, like you see each other through sickness and in health. Literally, when you know everything about one another, I get that every once in a while it gets a little tricky for couples. Couples look at me all the time and say, I was checking his hemorrhoid last week. I'm not, how am I supposed to keep the romance alive, And this is how married life doesn't have to be, but this is how relationships go dry. They still love one another, but there's no sexual tension left. And that's where this attraction has an expiration date still applies even in marriage, even in long-term relationships, because girls will turn around one day and go, he hasn't moved out of his lazy boy in 7 years. I'm bored to tears. The kids are out of the house or are in the house but don't need me anymore. And that's where you guys think girls are flaking, but really they're just like, they're looking for what they first fell in love with. And when they first fell in love, there was sexual tension, there was attraction, and you knew better than to let that expiration date hit. So there are ways that you have to keep that sexual tension going, even if you're deep in relationship.
Give an example. When in a long-term relationship, let's say they've been married 15 years.
Yeah.
The kids are in high school. How is he supposed to keep that tension? Give a short example. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I talk about this all the time. Sexy text in the middle of the day, telling her to send you a sexy, phone picture or something. Giving her little chores, giving her little things to always have you on her mind. And I don't mean like chores. I mean like sexy chores. Talking about, specific sexual encounters that you've had that are in your memory from recent or from the past that were super hot to you and that you think about a lot. Instead of masturbating to it, tell her about it. Let's relive that, One of the things that my father taught me very early was he said the best thing that your mother did as soon as you were born is she insisted that we always have at least one date night a week. And truly, and that wasn't about being expensive or spending a lot of money or needing to be wined and dined. It was about making sure that they had the connection, because when you start putting kids and family ahead of your own sex life, your relationship deteriorates. You have to remember at all stages that you guys chose one another. Everything else is secondary. If you guys fall apart, the whole thing falls apart. Everything falls to the wayside. So you guys came first, and you guys have to be prioritized. So that way you keep the sexual tension up. You keep doing sexy things to each other. You aren't afraid to show your kids, you guys kissing. You mess with each other. You tease one another. You joke with one another. You keep being playful and you keep having fun with one another. And this is true even if you're a pretty serious guy and she's a pretty serious girl. There are ways that you two connected in the beginning that you just have to keep up. I did an entire course on this. It's a 30-day course, and I wasn't even planning on selling this course, but it's the Ignite Your Wife 30-day sexual reset course, and it's all about, even if you've been married for 30 years, and literally the very first person who took this course had been married for 30 years and was just feeling all of this. The kids were out of the house. There was not a lot of connection left. He loved her, she loved him, but they had nothing going anymore. And the sexual reset is just that. It's rekindling a good relationship, because attraction has an expiration date. And if you don't salvage it, you're going to get divorced, or you're going to live your life completely miserable.
Perfect.
So if you are interested in that course, we'll just go on and stick that in the description box down below because it is critical. However, attraction as an expiration date is a fundamental lesson also of just pickup, game, relationships at every level. So if you have not already picked up the Basic Training 1 and 2 by Fort Worth, grab that also. It's much cheaper than my course, but it also won't take you 30 days to get through. So either way, it's a win-win. If you are deep in a relationship though, and you're thinking, I'm going to get divorced and I'm going to get back on the dating market, try this course first. It's a lot cheaper than divorce court.
The principles never change.
The principles never change. And likelihood is, if you can't turn this relationship around, you probably are going to run into the same problems in the next. So it's kind of a moot point. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you see one of your buddies and he tends to always be complaining about girls ghosting him, or he hooks up with girls and then he's like, I don't know what happened. Why don't you just send him this podcast? Because this one probably applies to him. We want you to win. Bye!